The Anglo-Spanish War, lasting from 1585 to 1604, was a defining conflict in early modern European history. Yet despite the vast resources and military power of both nations, neither England nor Spain succeeded in completely destroying the other. The war, rooted in political, religious, and economic tensions, primarily saw naval engagements, skirmishes, and proxy wars. Ultimately, despite their fierce rivalry, neither empire was able to deliver a decisive blow that would ensure the other's downfall. The origins of the conflict had deep-rooted causes. In the late 16th century, England and Spain were at odds politically and religiously. Spain, under King Philip II, was a staunch Catholic power intent on suppressing Protestantism across Europe. England, ruled by Queen Elizabeth I, had embraced Protestantism and was seen as a heretical thorn in the side of Catholic Europe. Furthermore, England's support for the Dutch revolt against Spain and the English privateers' attacks on Spanish treasure fleets heightened tensions. Early skirmishes and the failure of the Spanish Armada. The first significant clash occurred in 1585 when Elizabeth I formally supported the Dutch revolt against Spanish rule by sending military aid. This move angered Philip II, who believed that crushing England would break the back of the Protestant rebellion in the Netherlands. Spain's response was the infamous Spanish Armada in 1588, a fleet meant to invade England and restore Catholicism. However, the Armada failed in its mission due to a combination of poor planning, logistical challenges, and fierce English naval resistance. The English Navy, under the command of figures like Sir Francis Drake, proved to be a formidable force, employing superior tactics and benefiting from favorable weather conditions. This defeat marked a significant setback for Spain and gave England a morale boost, prolonged naval engagements, and economic strain. Despite the failure of the Armada, Spain continued its naval campaigns, seeking to wear down England. Throughout the 1590s, both nations engaged in a series of naval skirmishes, with England focusing on disrupting Spanish treasure fleets and Spanish attempts to retaliate. Spain's vast empire in the Americas was crucial to its war efforts, but its treasure fleets were consistently attacked by English privateers. While Spain had a larger fleet and more resources, England's more flexible and innovative naval tactics, combined with the use of smaller, faster ships, allowed it to hold its own. Meanwhile, Spain's resources were stretched thin. The cost of defending its global empire, maintaining a large fleet, and dealing with domestic economic problems, exacerbated by the war, drained the Spanish treasury. By the late 1590s, Spain was financially exhausted, while England, despite some economic hardships, maintained its resilience. The role of proxy wars. Both Spain and England engaged in proxy wars to weaken each other's positions. In the Netherlands, the Spanish sought to suppress the Dutch revolt, while English forces helped the Dutch rebels. In Ireland, the Spanish attempted to support Irish resistance to English rule, notably during the 9 Years' War, 1594 to 1603. However, neither of these proxy efforts resulted in a significant shift in power. The Spanish involvement in Ireland ultimately proved unwise, with their forces defeated by the English in the Battle of Kinsale, 1601. Similarly, English support for the Dutch didn't decisively change the course of the war in the Low Countries. The Treaty of London, 1604. After nearly 2 decades of warfare, both England and Spain were exhausted. Philip II's death in 1598 and the growing financial strain on Spain prompted a shift in priorities. Similarly, England, while still vigilant, was weary of prolonged conflict. In 1604, both sides negotiated the Treaty of London, which officially ended the war. The treaty did not lead to a clear winner, but rather a stalemate, with both nations agreeing to a cessation of hostilities and a return to a more pragmatic approach to foreign policy. Conclusion: the Anglo-Spanish War of 1585 to 1604 showcased the limitations of both empires. Despite the larger Spanish resources, superior manpower, and military might, Spain could not crush England. The English Navy, resilience, and strategic partnerships allowed it to withstand the Spanish onslaught. Ultimately, The war ended in a stalemate, with neither side achieving a decisive victory. The failure of both empires to destroy each other had lasting consequences. England emerged as a rising naval power, while Spain's global influence began to wane in the early 17th century.